Picture this. You hop off the plane fresh into Canada, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed to take on your new Canadian adventure. But then, very quickly you realise nowhere will rent to you. You can't get financing for that new car that you need, and don't even get me started on phone plans. You see, credit scores rule all here in Canada. So I think it's about time we find out how we can make them work for us. Credit scores, a three-digit number that quantifies much of your financial worth. As a new immigrant to the country, you are typically starting on zero. Zilch, nada. Credit, in short, means you can delay paying someone back money you owe them for a specified period of time. Fail to pay back in said amount of time, you best be ready to face the consequences. These days, luckily, most of us access credit through these aptly named credit card things. The higher you are to a 900, the more trustworthy you appear to the banks and potential lenders. You see, people can check your credit score in Canada when you try to buy a car through finance, or to rent an apartment, or even sign up to certain phone plans. Now, if your credit score is too low, you might end up getting rejected. I can't begin to explain the hoops that I had to jump through to get an apartment in Canada, all because I didn't have a credit score when I landed. I think it is about time to find out what you can do as a newcomer to make sure that you can build and protect your credit score from day one. And I have just the person to help us with that. Morteza, thank you so much for joining us today. The first thing I need to know is, what is credit and why is it important today?
Credit or credit score is a three-digit number ranging from 300 to 900 that comes from the information in your credit report. In Canada, there are two main credit bureaus, TransUnion and Equifax. These are private companies that collect, store, and share information about how you use credit. So your credit score shows your credit worthiness. It shows how well you manage debt and how likely it would be for a lender to lend you money. So in other words, credit score is used by lenders to determine one's dependability and if they're likely to be able to repay a loan back. So the higher the credit score, the more likely you're to get approved for a loan and of course for better rates.
So then Morteza, will my credit history in my own country have any importance or weight within Canada?
If you're new to Canada, you won't have any credit upon arrival. This is because your credit history, good or bad, from your country of origin will not transfer with you to Canada. So no, your credit score won't follow you to another country.
So if I bought my yacht with a hot tub in Ireland, I don't have to worry about that credit following me over here. It's a clean slate.
That's pretty much it. However, some financial institutions may be willing to recognize a foreign credit history if you ask them. This involves extra steps. You may be able to request a copy of your credit score from or credit report from another country and meet with your local branch officer. Luckily, in Scotiabank, as the first Canada-based bank, we've partnered with Nova Credit that allows transition of newcomers foreign credit to Canada when they're applying for Scotiabank products.
When I arrived, I had a lot of trouble trying to find an apartment without a credit score. So as a newcomer, what is the best ways to start building your credit history from scratch?
Yeah. So having a Canadian credit card and making regular payments on it, timely payments, is the easiest way to establish a credit history and build a credit score.
As a newcomer building credit from scratch with Scotiabank, does it immediately start on poor and I have to build to fair?
Your credit score is not going to start from poor. If you keep using your credit card and then making your monthly payments, at least those minimum payments due, timely of course, within 3 to 6 months you're going to have a good base level credit score.
Morteza, other than going with Scotiabank obviously, what are the other factors that I should take into account when choosing my first credit card in Canada?
It really depends. You'll need to review the purpose of the credit card. You'd have to ask yourself if you're going to be using the credit card mostly for your everyday spending, or is there a chance that you might carry a balance from month to month on the credit card? So for instance, if you're going to use the credit card for your everyday spending, choosing a credit card with some rewards earning capability is a good way to maximize your savings. Credit cards may offer rewards and benefits. So you may be able to earn points and redeem them for travel, for cashback, for entertainment, for discounts on products and services. In Scotiabank, we offer one of the best rewards in the market with Scene Plus attached to some of our credit cards. Scene Plus has an amazing partnership with Empire label grocery stores, with Cineplex, and with Home Hardware. So with Scene Plus, you can earn points with your everyday purchase and redeem them for travel, for entertainment, for groceries, for gift cards, for home hardware, and many more. If there is a chance that you might carry a balance from month to month, then interest rate is the most important factor to consider.
Morteza, how can responsible credit card usage help me actually build a good credit score or a good credit history?
Using your credit card responsibly by making timely payments proves your ability to manage debt. Making statement balances before the due date or by the due date shows lenders that you're a responsible borrower, so it is important to establish a good credit history.
So we've spoke a bit today about statement balances.
Yes.
Or sometimes minimum balance.
Yes.
What does all that mean?
So when your monthly statement is printed, there is a due date, and the expectation is that at least you make the minimum payment by the due date. If you can pay the full balance, that's all good, but at least the minimum payments must be paid so that you're showing the lender that you're a responsible credit card user. And a responsible credit card user always reads their monthly statements and bank messages, and they stay disciplined by setting up a monthly budget for themselves.
With all that in mind, what are some of the most common mistakes to avoid when actually using your credit card?
The common mistakes are paying late, making only minimum payments, running high balances, not keeping an eye out on transactions, not knowing your credit card terms, and not choosing really a credit card that fits your lifestyle, overspending on your credit card, applying for too many credit at once, and even taking out cash advances from your credit card, and using one credit card to pay the debt of another credit card, which will result in snowballing your debt.
So being responsible with the credit card is obviously massively important. How do you monitor your credit score, and how frequently should you check it? How do you take care of it?
You can have access to your credit report directly from Canada's two main credit bureaus, TransUnion and Equifax. This is an online service and is updated monthly.
Okay, and other than that, is there any other way to check it on the go? Does Scotiabank have an app?
Yeah, some financial institutions and credit card issuers offer credit monitoring services. If you register for TransUnion credit services through Scotiabank, you can log into your account online or use your mobile app to have access to your credit score and credit report.
There is a question I have about credit checks that I've heard so much contrasting information on. I have heard that you should not make too many requests to view your credit score, your credit history, because it will actually bring it down.
As far as I know, there's a difference between credit view and credit inquiry. Credit inquiry happens when you ask for credit. You either go ahead and apply for a credit card, a line of credit, a mortgage, for instance. But credit view is a service that's provided by credit bureaus, and it will not have any impact on your credit score. It's not considered as a credit inquiry.
Morteza, what is this word credit utilization? What's it mean, and how do you keep it in check?
Credit utilization ratio is an important factor in calculating credit scores. It is generally expressed as a percentage and represents the total revolving credit that you're using divided by the total credit that's available to you. In many credit scoring models, it accounts for a significant portion of your credit score. We can maintain a good credit utilization ratio by reducing our revolving credit balances. So the most efficient way to keep it in check is to pay down what you owe and stay disciplined, set up a monthly budget for yourself, do not spend more than what you have. What I would say is that if you did all of this and still didn't help, then you can apply for a credit limit increase on your credit facility.
Right, so if I have a line of credit to the value of $1,000,
Yes.
and I have used $500 of that, is that 50% utilized?
Exactly, because you're using 500, so that's your balance, and that divided by 1,000 credit limit. So your credit utilization ratio at that time is going to be 50%.
How long does it typically take for a newcomer in Canada to establish what's considered a good credit score?
There is no formula for how long it takes. This is mainly because your credit score and your credit report is based on your history with credit, and it takes time to build a record of that. However, typically, you'll be able to have a good base level credit score within 3 to 6 months of opening your first credit card in Canada, provided that you're making your timely payments and you're never late for at least the minimum payments that are due.
Are there then specific credit card options for newcomers or immigrants to Canada that are better than others?
Yes, there are. In Scotiabank, for instance, we have specialized programs for newcomers that allow access to credit cards, even without a Canadian credit history. And through Scotiabank Start Right program, we've made it seamlessly easy for newcomers to have access to specific credit cards. These credit cards will suit their various financial needs and lifestyles.
Morteza, my last question for you today is, why would I or any newcomer to Canada go with one credit card over another?
To answer this question, I think you should really go with a credit card that provides the best overall value based on what you want. So you'll need to review the purpose of the credit card. Are you going to be using it for your everyday spending, the type of transactions you're planning to charge to the credit card, and the type of rewards you wish to earn? Everyone's needs is obviously different. However, in Scotiabank, we help our customers with the process of choosing the right credit card for themselves. And we try to discover if they're more interested in travel rewards and cashback, entertainment points, or how they're planning to use their credit card.
Morteza, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. It's been so interesting to hear the individualization of credit cards and credit card usage, and the benefit that speaking to a Scotiabank representative like yourself can have for a newcomer. I only wish I knew this when I landed myself 2 years ago, but hey, it's not too late to fix that mistake, right?
Yes, it is not too late.
Sweet. I'll be going to your branch very shortly, so thank you so much again.
Of course, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Landing in a new country and trying to get settled can be a daunting enough task as it is. And not having a well-established credit history that can allow you to even rent a place to live is especially terrifying. Just remember, there are options out there to help you in building a solid credit score, and that responsible credit card usage is key to keeping your financial journey smooth and steady. Like Morteza said, choosing which credit card is ultimately going to be a personal choice, and you should consider how you plan to use it. So it is crucial to be informed when making your decision, which is why I went out and did a little bit of research off camera and got my hands on this little bad boy. A Scotiabank credit card complete with the Scene Plus reward scheme. If you want to see how I actually use this card to build up credit and avail of all their rewards, then all you have to do is give this video a thumbs up and a sub to the channel so you don't miss out on any future videos. That's all from me, folks. Leave your comments down below and let us know what financial goals you have in Canada and how access to credit might make it all happen.